Okay, looks like we're going to be about 3 minutes late. Looks like we're going to be about 3 minutes late starting today, which was about what we were yesterday. Let me see if I can find the video here on my trusty iPad. There it is. Let's see if we've got audio. Okay, looks like we're going to be about 3 minutes late. Yes, we do have audio. RWAGS is in the house. Okay, and I turned the exposure down a little bit. Let me know if you think it's a little bit underexposed now. I can change that adjustment on the main camera here. And let's see, driving to the Grand Seiko Boutique, Robert in the house. Excellent, Robert. Well, hopefully you'll arrive there before we wrap and you can give us a report. We're talking about deployant clasps today, one of our topics, so let me know what you find out. See if you can look at some watches with deployant clasps, some Grand Seikos, and get us some information. Durr is in the house. Hopefully he will have some information as well on deployant clasps. We are information gathering today on deployant clasps. Let me go, oh, where the heck, give me a second here. Let me find my eBay page, because there was a watch on eBay. Hopefully I can get in here, logged in. My eBay watch list, hopefully it will have remembered me. Oh shoot, gotta sign in. I hate this. Hackers should be taken out and shot. They're the reason why we have to go through all this silly security stuff, is hackers. I think if they shot them on site, then we wouldn't have as many hackers. What do you guys think? You think we would not have as many hackers if they shot the hackers on site? Okay, so here's the watch that was on eBay. It was listed just a couple days ago, and I believe it has sold. I believe it is sold, gone. But this is the original listing. You can see here it's ended, but this is the original listing. And the reason I'm bringing this up is this is an 18 karat gold Grand Seiko stunner, but it also has a deployant clasp similar to the one on the 002. There it looks folded, and there it is open. See, it's made in Italy, the one on that particular watch. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about people have different opinions on deployant clasps. Some people like them, some people not so much. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about options. I've got some information from the Stevester also to share, and there's the 005 stunner on the bench tonight, because I've got this puppy, the 231 stunner diver, on wrist. Let's get a close-up of that. How stunning is that? Chi-Town is in the house. There goes the detonation. Okay, what does that mean? Uh-oh. Okay, so let's see. Sizing my bracelet. Just got my SBGV005. SBGV005. You don't mean SBGN? SBGV005. Let's check that. Let's check which one that is. Yeah, there is a GV005. Oh, okay. Okay, I guess it's that watch. Is that the watch in question? SBGV005? Okay, cool. Give us some more information in the chat about that puppy also. Okay, things are happening fast and furious here on the channel. Enjoying my new SBBN 033 Seiko tuna today. Tuna. I wish GS would release a tuna. There you go. Carlos says hello from Panama. And let's see. Android spell check. Yeah, Android is a bag of hurt. Of course, the spell check on the iOS isn't much better. I am going to change the exposure a little bit on this. I'm a little bit underexposed. Give me a moment. I was a little bit underexposed now. Get in position here. That's a little bit better. A little bit better. So I am wearing one of my favorite shirts. If the house was on fire and I had to grab one shirt and run out, it would probably be this Kenneth Gordon shirt. This is linen, 100% linen, made by Kenneth Gordon in these United States of America. One of my favorites. Super comfortable. Okay, let's see here. Yes, champagne dial. There we go. Dubro in the house. Craig, while you were pretending to be Edward R. Murrow in your mom's basement yesterday, I was using the recent market volatility to make a killing. Party on, pretender. Dubro, almost real close to getting blocked, getting hit with the wrench on the channel. He's Dub is a trader, he claims, and he's got a generic icon, and he pretty much doesn't have a clue, but he pretends to be a trader and making all kinds of money. If he was making all this money trading stocks, I seriously doubt he would be hanging out in the chat here with us. I think he'd be on a beach somewhere partying, party hardy. But anyway, if he, I'll tell you what, Wrench Gang, if he trolls a little bit more, just hit him with the wrench. Bam! Bam! Right on the head with the wrench. He can go on somewhere else and troll. This is a troll-free zone after all. Only thing I don't... By the way, I am still buying some Bitcoin on the dips. I think I'm going to buy a little more maybe next week and take advantage of this opportunity to buy on the dip. Not financial advice on this channel, but I'm just telling you what I am doing. I'm adding to my stack of Bitcoin. Dub Rowe probably doesn't own any Bitcoin at all. He's probably a no-coiner. What we call a no-coiner. Only thing I don't like the lack of a screw-down crown. Oh, I hear you. Okay. Dub Rowe had a message deleted. I think he may have gotten smacked with the wrench on his troll head. Let's see. I'm hoping GS will release a pilot's watch similar to the new 2019 Rolex Air King. I know that GS likes stick markers, but something similar to what they did with the A&A pilot's watch would be nice. Interesting, interesting. Craig, how do you feel about the old SARB series watches that I believe were discontinued? SARB 035. I'm not real familiar with them, but some of those watches are pretty cool. Personally, I mean, if you're going to go for a more affordable watch, I think you can find some deals on some Grand Seiko quartz models on eBay. And sometimes you can snag a pretty good deal. I've seen decent watches for, you know, in the $600 range, $700 range, you know. So, but obviously you can probably buy a SARB for even less than that. So it all depends on what you want to spend. If I was going to spend less, maybe $300 or something like that, I'd probably just get an Apple Watch and be done with it. Probably what I would do. Let's see, Cheetown. I actually have a good Android user experience since I have a Google Pixel 3. Android still only promises software updates up to 3 years, though. Apple keeps software updates going longer. Yeah, there you go. Durr in the house. Deployant clasps always allow a watch with a always allow a watch with a strap versus a bracelet to fit more comfortably and more centered on wrist than a traditional pin buckle for me. Interesting. I asked Steve to try on a Grand Seiko because his wrist's about the same size as mine. I asked him to try one on a little while ago at the store and asked him how well it centers on his wrist, how well the clasp centers, and he said it centers pretty good. So I have about a 7.25 inch wrist, between 7.25 and 7.5, depending on the time of the year. And Steve is about the same size wrist as me. So it looks like the 002 Stunner that is supposed to come in the end of the month, knock on wood, it looks like it should center pretty good on my wrist. I'm hoping David Williams comes in the chat here because he bought a strap with a deployant clasp from Steve, and I'd like to get some feedback from him on what size wrist they tend to center well on. Because the watch I got from Japan with the standard clasp, the gold Stunner that I had before, it didn't center at all. It was well off center. It was clearly designed for a smaller wrist. If I would have had a smaller wrist, it would have been more centered. So, but I heard that the watches from Japan are often like that. They're smaller because people have smaller wrists. Over there. Okay, so let's see here. Dubro was timed out for 300 seconds. Maybe Dubro will come back in and be a little more civilized. Here's the thing. He made the prediction that even if the 002 comes in the end of the month, that I absolutely won't buy it. It won't be on my wrist, that I'm just a poser and all that, right? Well, why doesn't he wait until then? Why doesn't he hold off comment? And then if that time comes and goes and I don't have the watch, then he could probably more accurately make those comments, right? But what happens if I have the watch on my wrist? Does that make him look like kind of like an idiot, I would guess? Right? Would that kind of make him look like an idiot? David's in the house. Speak of the devil, David. David, we're talking about deployant clasp. Please let us know in the chat how yours centers on your wrist, the clasp portion. And did you order a special size strap, or did you just get the default size strap? Please give us the details in the chat. And also, I know it's thicker than a normal clasp. How much thicker? How thick is it on wrist? How much of a downside is the thickness of it? To my way of thinking, it's a trade-off like everything else in these watches. It makes it so that you can put the watch on and off without really flexing that strap a lot. You know, when you put the strap on a typical clasp, a buckle, you have to kind of flex it a fair amount to get the pin in and all that. And that's wear and tear on that strap every time you put it on and off from that flexing. So the deployant helps with that. You don't have to bend the strap at that extreme angle. So share information in there, David. Fill us in. And it'd be great if you could Skype in and talk with us. Let us know in the chat if you can Skype in. Let's see here. Okay, so also that's Edward Armour. Okay. Craig, what do you think about three-hand yellow gold dress watch from Patek, 5227J? Case lugs are much nicer than the 5296. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at the 5227J. Give me a moment here. I'm trying to...
Calatrava reference 5227J-001. You can see this 18-karat yellow gold Patek Philippe on our website, watchyouwant.com.
Yeah,
Purchase it there.
like
and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. You can also click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included, high-res images, and of course, complete pricing information.
On where the lug is, where it has that indentation,
16
I could
centimeters in
take or leave
circumference.
that.
The 5227 has a few distinctions that set it apart from its predecessor, the 5127. Now, most notably, you're going to see that it's a larger watch at 39 millimeters across the round case, and it's dispensed with the crown guard of the predecessor model. No longer has those flanking crown guards about the crown, so the watch has a relatively classical and seamless flank, symmetrical on both sides. Now, another key distinction that really only becomes obvious in profile as we look at the 46.5 millimeter lug-to-lug span of the watch, you can really see how scalloped the lugs are. That is, they've been hollowed out to add character and to play against the light that attracts easily, completely unconstrained against the flanks of the case. Now it's paired with a beautiful see the strap bends down quite easily, completely unconstrained against the flanks of the case. Now it's paired with a beautiful and traditional Patek Philippe 18-karat.
Yeah, stunner. Stunner. Definitely a stunner. Let's see. Hi, Craig and all. David's in the house. Let's see. Nephew graduating Air Force Academy, wanted to get him a solid flight test pilot's watch, was looking at a Laco Wurzburg. Any suggestions? Not really. I'm not familiar with that piece. I would definitely have a conversation with Steve at Little Treasury because he carries so many brands. Even if he doesn't carry that one, he would probably be familiar with it. But he has such a selection, and he'll give you some really straight-up advice. Even if you don't buy from him, he'll certainly give you some great advice. Just back from errands. Not hoarding, though, David in the house. David, we want information on your Deployant Clasp. Please hit us with some information in the chat. Kyle Jet, you can get a new SARB for like $350 on Amazon. My Apple Watch was $800 and lasted 6 months. Broke while wearing it in the jacuzzi. Uh-oh. They said it was the water-resistant model. Well, my gosh, they should have replaced it for free. At that point, it should still be under warranty. They won't even look at it until I hand them $250. I would never recommend buying it. Well, that's ridiculous. They should replace that. I've never had that kind of bad service from Apple. Apple's always stood by stuff for me. Oh boy. Durr in the house. GS installs their straps with the deployant backwards, long side of the strap with holes at 12, short side at 6, and it's incredibly annoying. Durr. Yeah, I've read about that. Some people like it though. It's a personal choice, but you can reverse it from what I understand. But some people like the way they do it from the factory. Dubro, you're correct. No coins here. Bitcoin is for people like you who don't understand the stock market. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll revisit that in 2028 and see if I'm right or you're right. One of us is going to be right in the year 2028. Long-term thinking, Dub. Long-term thinking will keep you from staying broke. Think long-term. Don't think short-term. Okay, let's see. Chi-Town in the house. I own an SARB, the ivory dial, and it's a great professional watch. The Clasp doesn't have enough micro adjustments, though. Okay, there you go. Yeah, some people are lucky with bracelets that they get them to fit, and then their wrist doesn't change much in size, and they're just good to go. When I was younger, to tell you the truth, I never even thought about it. It was never even a thing. We adjusted the watch. Now, most of the Rolexes then had micro adjustments, right? But we adjusted it and got it where it needed to be, and it wasn't really a problem. But now that I'm older, I think my wrist changes size more often. So I do like having this quick adjustment on this diver, I'll tell you that. Let's see here. My deployant fits great, not thick. Strap is standard 19 millimeter GS for the 005 and similar watches. Okay, so you didn't have to order a special one. And remind me again what size your wrist is and how well does it center? How well does it center on your wrist? Oh, can you, it'd be cool if you could email a picture of that part of your wrist. Email a picture and maybe even a side view picture so we can see the thickness, and I'll show them if you email them to me. David, that'd be cool if you could do that, because the pictures I already have of your strap don't show that. Let's see here. I think your past history with watches shows you're not afraid to spend money on them. Mike in the house. I would think, yeah, I would think that's pretty clear. Let me clean my glasses. My glasses are a mess. But see, some people just like to troll. Some people are just, they're, and maybe he's trying to get attention. I gave him a little attention. Maybe that'll make him feel good. He's probably in his mom's basement eating Lay's potato chips, and he's probably obese and has diabetes, and so we should have a little bit of compassion here. Let's see. Deployant clasps are 100% the way to go. They look better, will allow the strap to last longer, and you're a lot less likely to drop the watch taking it off the wrist. Very good points from the Durster. Very good points from Durr. I bought strap on eBay, Deployant from Steve, David Williams. Oh, wait, back up, David. So you didn't, so wait a second, now I'm confused. I thought that alligator strap that you had when I took the picture and all, I thought that strap was Steve's, but that wasn't, because I thought it was an actual GS strap. It looks fantastic. Please give us some details on that. Yeah, where'd you get that strap? Because it really looks great. Let me pull up that picture again. Give me a moment here. Give me a moment. I'll pull that puppy up. Because that is a good-looking rig that you've got. I'm telling you. That's a good-looking rig. Give me a minute here. I'll pull this puppy up. I'll pull it up. Absolutely, I will. First picture I'm going to show is the one with us side by side, hanging out at Steve's. Hanging out at the Stevesters. There's the one with us side by side. There's that strap. That's a good-looking strap if you got that puppy on eBay. And then here's a picture more just showing your watch. And then I think I have one, well, let me go the other way. I think I have one just with it sitting on the counter. Yeah, there it is. That looks pretty good. I could have sworn that was a factory GS strap. But yeah, well done. Well done, if that's what you did. Good move. Let's see. Just walked into the GS boutique. Robert in the house. Okay, cool. Robert, please see if you can try on a deployant clasp and give us a full report. See if they'll let you try on a watch with a deployant clasp. We want to know how well it centers on your wrist. We want the details. Cheetown's in the house. I like the 5107, 5127, and 5227, but Patek should make one without a date. I hear you. Yeah, for a dress watch, I would definitely rather not have the date, personally. Patek Deployant Clasp is around $3,500, plus you need a different strap at around $500. Yeah, and they look pretty cool, though, from what I've seen. They look pretty cool. Yeah. What's up with the gigantic pushers on the SBGC 203? Oh, if that's the chronograph, yeah, they're big. They're big. But hey, it makes it easier to use. I mean, Grand Seiko's about functionality, right? Having the bigger pushers makes it easier to push them, makes it easier to control them. And in person, I've seen one in person. I've seen the chronograph. It looks pretty cool. They don't look oversized in person. Remember, a lot of these watches, you got to see them in person to see what they really look like. Macro shots make everything look bigger, right? So, that's how that works. Unable to Skype in because the laptop camera is not working properly. David in the house. We'll email you photos of the Deployant. Okay, I'll check my email here in a second. Citizen, Navihawk, or Nighthawk are also good pilot watches. There we go. Good tips from Cheetown. I have seen this, in the store the new 60th anniversary models in Manchester, UK. They look so much better in person than in pictures. Yeah, that's the thing with Grand Seiko. You really have to see the watches. My Deployant is fine, RE fit, David Williams. Yeah, but see, if you bought your strap off of eBay, then we're comparing apples to oranges. So we don't know what the actual Grand Seiko strap will do until we get more information on an actual Grand Seiko strap. I do have a report from Steve, though, that it should be good on my size wrist, because he tried one on at his store today. Of course, not an 002, because he doesn't have it yet, but he on another watch that has the Deployant, he tried it on, and similar sized watch. Let's see, I like my Apple Watch better than the Tudor I had, but it dies by nighttime. I need to go to Little Treasury and deal with Steve. There you go. Derek, are you within striking distance of going there? Maybe we can rendezvous the end of the month when I go to get the 002. Man, I hope he gets that watch in. He hasn't said yet that it's delayed. One thing that makes me nervous is that clasp comes from Italy, and Italy's all screwed up. So I hope they've got those clasps in stock. The Deployant clasp on that watch is made in Italy. Italy. Let's pull that up again here. There's the picture of the Deployant clasp that comes on the 002. Okay, that's it. And so, now that particular watch is not an 002, but the 002 also comes with the Deployant clasp made in Italy. So, yeah, I hope Italy doesn't screw this thing up. Let's see here. The plot thickens. Haha, I love it when Craig trolls the trolls. Good old Lay's chip in the mom's basement. Well, half the time it's true. I got a 50-50 chance of it being true. Jaden says, great show so far. He's in the house. Dave did get an authentic GS strap. He just got it online and then got the buckle from Steve. Oh, okay. Good info. Good info. Yeah, man, we got some creative people here in the chat. Some compadres. Let's see, those trolls have it all wrong. If you're going to eat potato chips, stick with kettle chips, preferably in sea salt and vinegar. There you go. Yeah, well, I mean, the trolls got it right now with this bug going around, right? They're self-quarantining. They that's their lifestyle. They're quarantined anyway, all the time. So there you go. Tim's in the house. You can also get great handmade leather straps on Etsy. Yeah, absolutely you can. What is the difference in clasp between my SBGV005? Between that and what? I don't know what you're comparing it to, Robert. Are you talking about a leather strap? Yeah, well, we're talking about the Deployant buckle. See that buckle that you can use on a leather strap? That is a way of taking the watch on and off without using a typical buckle. It's called a Deployant buckle. And some of the Grand Seiko models come with that. Some Patek Philippe's come with that. Some Omegas come with that. That's kind of what we're talking about, is the concept of a Deployant buckle on a leather strap. They also are sometimes on rubber straps. But a bracelet is a different animal. This is a bracelet. Okay? And this obviously has a clasp similar to a Deployant clasp, but that folds and all. That allows me to take this on and off. But it's a different animal. Let's see, Cheetown, California, Deployant clasp are a hit or miss for me. I tried a Zodiac Super Seawolf Deployant clasp, and my wrist was too small, so it didn't center well. Okay, what size is your wrist for reference here? Let us know. Craig, what do you think of those Patek Aquanaut plastic straps that you have to cut with scissors to size? Are you kidding me? I mean, can you imagine? Hey, think about it. Back up a second. Can you imagine somebody going and buying a Patek Philippe watch and getting some ugly, kludgy looking, these squarish, ugly watches with rubber? Can you imagine when you can get something really classy like that one we just looked at? Where is it here? Can you imagine when they can get something like this?
Yellow gold pin buckle, easily adjusted, beautifully made.
Look at this watch.
It fits the character of this very traditionally styled watch, but there are a few stylistic distinctions on the dial that bear mentioning. Now, this one features what Patek Philippe calls
they go and buy some ugly, kludgy looking, square, I mean, forget about it, folks. Think about what you're doing, people. Think about what you're doing. And sometimes they spend the equivalent money that they would spend on that watch right there. Sometimes they spend that equivalent money on a steel freaking watch. What are they thinking? There is nothing, let me repeat what I've said before. There is nothing special about a steel watch. A steel watch is a utility piece that you wear and use, like a GMT2. It's a great watch. It's a great tool watch. It's a great everyday beat-around watch. There's nothing special about it. People are not going to ooh and ah when you're at a party and you're drinking a little glass of wine and you've got that watch on. They're not going to care. Half of them, even if they know it's a Rolex, they're going to be, okay, it's a steel Rolex. Everybody freaking has one. It's no big deal. But you're wearing that watch there? Now, that might be a little horse of a different color. People might think you're eat up with a little bit of class, a little bit of style. You're wearing an 18-karat yellow gold stunner. Yeah, and it's got to be yellow gold, folks. None of the white gold stuff. I know Carlos bought a white gold Day-Date, and God love him, and he wants to be under the radar. That's fine. But if you want people to take notice, you want yellow gold, 18-karat yellow gold. Every freaking time it's tried, it works. Some things should not be messed around with. The clasp on the gold GS looks identical to the deployant I have on my AP Royal Oak. It's a friction lock, which I'm not a fan of, opposed to having double pushers to release. No, it has pushers. The one on the 002 has pushers. Let me go back here to the picture and I'll show you. Well, you can kind of see it there in the picture. See the little gold thing like just to the right of the buckle? There's a pusher on either side like that. You push in and that releases it. So the GS does have pushers. Yeah, so that's how that works. RWAG says brown or black leather. It's a dark brown, and I'll have to go with that. I'm not going to change it. I mean, if and when I wear out the strap eventually, then I would probably just go ahead and put a black one on there. But dark brown, I'm not a stickler for, like, for example, if I'm wearing a black belt and black shoes and I'm wearing the watch with a dark brown strap, to me that's okay. I certainly wouldn't want it to be like medium brown or light brown. But yeah, I can get by with that if I have to. But very good question, our wags. I would prefer black if I had the choice, right? But no, as far as I know, you don't have the choice. It comes with what it comes with. And Steve says it takes like 6 months to get some other strap. So, yeah. Let's see. Paul, why would you waste your money on a gold GS? Well, I mean, if I spend my money to buy something, then obviously it's because I want that item and I like that item. And obviously, I don't feel like I'm wasting my money. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. So, I mean, now if you don't understand the quality of a GS, and you don't understand what the particular SBGY002 has going for it, if you don't understand that, then that's okay. I mean, I get it. There's the watch. I mean, if you don't think that's a stunner, I mean, I would challenge your sense of taste. I would say that you're probably not, you don't have the best taste in the world if you don't think that's a stunner. But yeah, I mean, let me see if I still have Steve's. Yeah, here's, I mean, not Steve, here's the Watchbox, here's their video on it.
0.5 millimeters in diameter on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and it's thin, 10.5 millimeters thick with a nicely sloped case flank. It will easily slide underneath a tight dress sleeve or cuff. From lug to lug, wonderfully.
I mean, that definitely, definitely gives the Patek a run for its money. Definitely, in my opinion. So there you go. Craig, you have 3x email photo. Okay, yep, let me go get it. Let me go to the email. Let's go to the mailbag, as they say. Okay, let me pull up one here. Give me a second here. All right, so there's one picture of it on wrist. Looks pretty good. Now let me see if I can get another picture. Okay, here is another picture. Now that clasp is a little bit different design. It is a little bit different design than the one that comes on the 002. Just because the way the pin goes through, the way it's designed, it is different. But that looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool, if you ask me. And so let's go back and look at the third one. Hey, I wanted it on your wrist, David. I wanted a side view of it on your wrists to show how thick it is up off your wrist. But you know, here's the thing. It looks pretty substantial. That strap looks really good. Yeah, and it is a GS strap. You can see that there. It all looks very substantial. It looks like it's no joke. So yeah, there you go. Audience participation. Oh wait, I'm not showing it there. Oh, what am I doing? Audience participation. There's the strap. Looks like I say, looks very substantial. But I would want one from the side. Let me go back to that other picture again. Give me a moment here. Go back to this one on the thing. You can see there, see where that pen goes through there? See, it's different. On the 002, this piece that goes across, it's got a pin underneath it that goes down through the strap. So it is a different design. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, the difference. And by the way, there are very few photos of this rig on wrist, like photos from this angle showing how thick and all that. You'd be surprised. You do an image search on Google, there aren't that many pictures. Let me tell you something. If I get the 002, there are going to be a lot of pictures. There's going to be a lot of videos, and there's going to be a lot of pictures. There will no longer be a shortage of pictures showing that information. Even this video that Tim did, all right, even this video here, he did not show it on wrist strapped. Let me go to where he's talking about the buckle here. Look here.
It feels wonderfully soft, supple, as though it's already been worn and broken in. So it's some kind of an alchemy here that Grand Seiko achieves with those straps. But there's less mystery about the buckle, which is a solid yellow gold, 18 karat, and oddly Italian-made component, as I've noticed Grand Seiko's gold clasps generally are made in Italy, and I would love to know the supplier. It is a twin trigger spring-loaded trigger release, so you have the ability to lock it in place until you positively displace both of the triggers, so you're secure and you're safe in that regard. Jumping back to the case itself, it's a combination of handsome satin finish, and you can see the case band in.
And notice he never showed it on wrist. He never put it on his wrist with it threaded through and, and showed us what it looks like on wrist. Tim's usually pretty thorough. I don't know why he didn't. My gosh, that's a pretty big deal, right? How the watch sits on the wrist. It is a wrist watch. I can't figure. Why would they not show that? And good luck finding any video that shows that. Good luck. Because I've looked. Let's see here. Any thoughts on a Patek watch for a gift for nephew, graduate? Okay. Yeah, again, I would call Steve. I would absolutely call Steve and get some recommendations. Steve, littletreasurygewelers.com. Littletreasury.com, I'm sorry. Littletreasury.com is the URL. It's in the description of this video. Click on that. Get the phone number. I would just call him and talk to him on the phone. He's a good guy. If I had an Aquanaut, I'd have a bespoke leather strap made to fit it. There you go. Or just pass on the Aquanaut altogether and get yourself a nice Calatrava and call it a day. Yeah. Oh, if you want a sport watch, a real sport watch, get a freaking Rolex. Get a Rolex or a Grand Seiko. Don't get a halfway sport watch, which is what I would call a Patek sport watch. It's kind of like a halfway sport watch. This is an all-the-way sport watch, okay? And Patek doesn't make anything like that, all right? So there you go. Oh, believe me, my friend who has a pre-ceramic Sea Dweller as a heavy-use watch endlessly mocks me for liking any Nautilus. He thinks it's an ugly 70s watch worn by men with chicken bone wrists. He pretty close to right. Yeah, I would sell the Nautilus. Yeah, I would pass on that all day long. I would pass on that. Let's see. If Patek sells those crap rubber straps that you physically have to cut to size, they should supply additional straps for life to the original owner for what the cost of that junk is. They're in the house. Oops. Thank God the GS has pushers on the buckle. So much better on the Deployant. They're in the house. They should include fancy gold scissors with the Patek. Yes, it is centered on my wrist. Robert in the house. Good news. I do. By the way, Robert, let us know what size your wrist is for, so we know what we're, for reference. I do understand GS hype, but these watches could be bought for a fraction on a secondary market. Patek, in my honest opinion, is a better option. I'm not concerned with resale if I'm buying the watch to wear. I'm not dealing in the watches. I'm not buying and selling watches. I buy my watches to wear, so I could care less about the secondary market. Now, if you want to save money and buy one used, if you can do that, just like a car, I mean, you can buy a used car, you can save money, but that's fine. But I certainly wouldn't buy a watch based on whether or not it's going to hold its value or not. I mean, I have investments that I'm worried about that, and the watch is not an investment. A watch is a luxury item that I buy to use. So I have a different outlook on that. Watches generally are very poor investments, by the way. Let's see. These are lovely dress watches, but I am happy with my late father's 1970 Zenith working okay. Oh, there you go, Tim. Absolutely. I like my straps tight and stiff, not broken in. Okay, there you go. Tim is not a good watch model. A 36 millimeter looks like a Sky Dweller on his tiny wrist. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think that watch is going to look fine on my wrist because it's about the same size as my 005. And the 005 is perfect on my wrist. This watch obviously is big. I mean, it's a big watch. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I think it still works for what I'm using it for a heavy use sport watch. But for a dress watch, obviously not. But I think that that 002, my guess is it's going to be just about perfect on my wrist. Otherwise, I wouldn't be considering it. I'm very, very picky. Very, very picky, folks, in case you didn't already know that. Let's see here. Any reason why GS Seasons watches are different, 2 spring drive and 2 automatic? I think they just wanted to give people some choices. I think it was a smart move. Some people like the automatic, some people like the spring drive. That way they have a little bit of both. Tim is a little generous with his wrist size recommendations. A 42 millimeter Rolex for a 15 centimeters circumference wrist. Nope. But I'll tell you though, I have to tell you, a lot of people like that oversized look where the watch obviously is clearly too big for their wrist, and they relish in that. I mean, they just, I don't get the huge watch thing. I mean, here's a guy saying this wearing a 44 mil watch, right? But I can tell you, I would not have this watch if my wrist was like 6 3/4 inches or something. I think it would be too big. I think it's just on the edge of being too big, even on my wrist. I wouldn't want it any bigger, is my point. This is the max I would want for my wrist. And if I had a smaller wrist, I certainly would have a smaller watch. So I don't get the clearly oversized looking watch thing. And you see a lot of these executives from Grand Seiko wearing a suit and then wearing some huge watch in their tiny wrist, and it just looks totally ridiculous. It looks totally ridiculous. They would be much better off wearing something like that or something even a little smaller as a dress watch. Yeah. Robert, 7 1/4. Okay, so you got the same size wrist as me, and you're saying that the Deployant centered nicely? Please clarify that in the chat, Robert. So you went into the boutique and you actually tried one on, a Deployant, and it centered nicely on your 7 1/4 inch wrist. And let us also know if it was too thick, if it bulged out too much at the bottom. What was your feeling for it? Was it acceptable as far as its fit to the wrist? Please give us your on-the-spot live report from the dealer, and let them know that we're live. Let them know we're live. So there you go. What do you think about the SPGA 391G? Is it the same as your SPGA 231, but has a blue peacock sunburst dial? I own one myself. Okay, well, let's pull that up. Let's pull up the SPGA 391. SPGA 391. I have a suspicion. I have a suspicion that this watch is stainless steel. I'm not sure. Is that it there? There's the green dial watch. I have a suspicion that green dial watch there, I have a suspicion it's stainless steel. I could be wrong. But if it's titanium, then yeah, it looks like it's the same watch. If it's titanium. Oh, you know, I'm not showing it. There you go. That's the watch in question. If that's the watch, and if it's titanium, I just don't recall if that's titanium or if it's stainless steel. If it's titanium, then it's the same watch as this, but with the green dial. And I do like that dial. That dial is a stunner. But I suspect that might be stainless steel. But let me know in the chat. Some people like the stainless steel. I love the titanium. It's just so comfortable on wrist. I wouldn't want the stainless steel version because it's a pretty big watch. It would be pretty heavy on wrist with the stainless. For my purposes, I'd rather have the titanium, but teach their own. Some people just like the weight on their wrist. They like that. Okay. Craig, would you consider my 6.7-inch wrist to be comparatively small? 6.7. Yeah, well, I mean, it's getting there. I would think more like 6.5 would be more considered small. I think your wrist is anywhere like 6.7 to 7, I would say is probably pretty normal. My wrist is a little bit bigger than normal. So I would say 7 would probably be average, normal, and you're pretty close to that. So pretty close to, yeah, I would say medium. I would say small would be like 6 and under. And I'd say you're more medium, and mine's more towards the large, and then extra large would be like 7 3/4 inches and up. I think would be like extra large. Would be the way I would look at it. Watches more than 40 millimeter look goofy on my wrist. 36 to 40 millimeter is the sweet spot for me. Yeah, for you, like a 36 mil date just or a 36 mil day date would be like stunning on your wrist, I think. It is stainless steel. Stainless steel feels more solid in my opinion. Well, there you go. If that's what you like. But I tell you, the titanium is tough stuff. It's very tough stuff. James Scott, hey Craig, are people in Maryland buying up all the toilet paper and daily essentials? There was a gun pulled at Costco over toilet paper on the south of Indianapolis last night. Whoa, that is amazing. I shared a video on Twitter. I gotta play this for you guys. Let me see if I can pull it up. If I can pull it up, I'll play it for you. This is funny. I don't often retweet other people's tweets. I usually use my Twitter just for my own stuff. But, oh, for crying out loud, it's asking me to log in. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, now I got to use the Authenticator app to authenticate, for crying out loud. Okay, give me a second here. Peas and rice. Oh, I hate this. I hate all this security stuff, all because of Google, all because of hackers. Draw them out and quarter them. Draw and quarter the hackers, and we'll solve this problem. Okay. Like the old guy that says, "Get off my lawn," right? Get off my lawn. All right. All right, we're logged in now. Let me see if I can go to the tweet in question. I got to play this for you guys. This is funny. This is funny. All right, hold on a second here. Hold on. Let me stop this. I got to get it back to the beginning. Here we go.
John?
Here it is.
John?
What's up?
Are you John?
Yeah, who sent you?
Anthony.
What's the password?
Find your beach?
All right, did he tell you how much?
Yeah.
See you. All right, get the hell out of here. You didn't see me.
That's
John?
Good.
John?
That's good. Can you imagine? I mean, I pretty much stay stocked up on everything all the time. And I did. A couple weeks ago, I went and stocked up on some things. And then last week, I went and stocked up on some more things. I went to the, there's a company that wholesales to restaurants. And I bought 2 big boxes, 20-pound boxes of beans at the, I bought 20-pound box of black beans and a 20-pound box of navy beans just to stock up. So I'm like heavily stocked on things that don't go bad, right? And then the perishables, of course, you have to, every week or so, you have to buy those. But I've been to Costco 2 times in the last 2 weeks, and it wasn't a zoo here in Frederick, not yet. But you know, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Let's see. As someone who's still recovering from a past wrist fracture and sprain combination, heavy watches hurt to wear. Okay, there you go. I hear you. How do you measure your wrist with a string? Yeah, that's one way you can do it. Absolutely. Yes, you can if you're careful and do it right. Craig, you have one more email. Let's check that. Let's check the email. Go back to the mailbag. It's not showing up yet. Let me refresh here. Refresh the mailbag. See if we can get this puppy. Okay, here. 1 of 3, 3 of 3. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. I'm not seeing the new one, David. I don't know why that hasn't come through yet. Make sure that you sent it. And maybe it's just slow. Maybe it's just slow. Anyway, we will keep an eye on the email. We'll keep an eye on the email and see if it comes in. Okay. Down at my local South Bay San Diego grocery store, every toilet paper roll was sold out. There you go. What do you think about the fact? What are people doing with the toilet paper? Is there something I'm missing here? What are they doing with the toilet paper? I mean, is there some other use case for it? I mean, I can understand stocking up on a lot of different things, but why toilet paper? I don't get that one. Of course, then again, I have plenty in stock, and I also have a bidet. So when you have a bidet, you don't have to use as much toilet paper. I still use a little bit. This might be too much information, but I use the bidet first to rinse off real good, and then I use a little bit of toilet paper just to dry. So I don't have to use as much toilet paper that way. So I guess it's not as big an issue for me. Okay, what do you think about the effect of the global crisis for the watch industry, the gray market, and the final enthusiast? Well, I mean, it should make it a lot easier to buy watches because the prices should drop, and you'll probably see a lot of dealers, a lot of people, speculators with a bunch of watches. Probably you'll see some of them panic selling, and you'll probably be able to get some deals. Definitely, if you make offers on watches, just lowball, make low offers. That's what I would do. I'd get a deal, get a really good deal. When I go see Steve the end of the month when he has the 002, I mean, it's going to have to be a good deal. It ain't going to be list, I can tell you that. It's going to be a deal. And that's just the way it's going to be. Of course, I always try to get deals. Back when I was buying brand new day dates, I was getting deals. The best deal I ever got, I think I shared it with you guys one time, the Deployant Clasp video, pictures, and I bought a white gold day date from an AD, brand new, and it had been, there's the photo. We can't see much in that photo, but it looks okay, but it's kind of dark. Yeah, you want to shoot away from the light, David. You want the light behind you, and that way we'd be able to see the strap a little more. You're shooting into bright light there, so the strap is underexposed. Little photography tip there. Okay, but anyway, I bought a white gold date 8 that had been in their case for like 2 years. It was a new old stock watch. It was brand new, but they hadn't sold it for 2 years, so it had a 2-year-old price tag on it. There'd been a couple of price increases since then. Had a 2-year-old price tag on it, And then I offered them 40% off of that. So I got 40% off. I didn't even want to buy it. It was a white gold date. I didn't even want a white gold date, right? But I offered them cash money, 40% off, an old list price, and they said yes. They took it. So I bought it. I had it for about a year, and then I sold it to somebody. I made a little bit of money on it. But, yeah, I always try to get a good deal on any time I'm buying a luxury item like that. My bottle of Tommy Bahama cologne has a high enough alcohol content that it can I guess you meant double as an antiviral spray. There you go. By the way, I received as gifts a sub no date. Should I trade it for the new diver from Grand Seiko? I would probably sell the sub no date while you still can for a decent price before the market crashes, and then decide what you're going to buy. Yeah, I mean, if you're not super happy with the sub no date, I'm not a fan of the super case, so I would sell it absolutely, personally. I just don't like the super case. And then as far as what I would buy, I'd buy a 231 like this. That's what I'd buy, the titanium diver. I mean, that's why I have it on my wrist. Of course, that's what I would buy. But that's just me. And you can get a discount on these brand new. Steve will give you a discount on one. And you can buy them used, sometimes for as little as around $5,000. I've seen them used in really good shape. You know, much cheaper than that, they're going to be pretty beat up. But, you know, around $5,000, you should be able to get one in really nice shape used if you look around a little bit. At least that's the last time I checked. I use toilet paper first to pick up the big chunks and then bidet for the thorough rinse. Oh boy. Okay, we get a lot of information here on this channel. Durr in the house, he says, I'm still trying to buy stock and Hoffman subs, but I'm not finding anything on the market. There you go. Well, he's got the place up for sale. It's been up for sale for a while though. Nobody's been willing to cough up the money, so I'm hoping he doesn't sell. But he's getting up there in years, and he's looking to retire. Let's see, Craig. I did the tooth floss trick to measure my wrist, and it's actually 6.5 inches on the dot. Cheetown. There you go. Okay. Craig, didn't you sell that white gold President to the former owner of Capital Porsche Audi? Yes. Yes. He did buy that watch. Yep. And actually, a couple of places I worked they had day dates. The owner of East West Lincoln Mercury, what was his name? Kim Larson, I believe, was his daughter that I went to school with. Kim Larson, I think. I forget his first name. Anyway, he was the owner of East West Lincoln Mercury, and he lived in Manor Country Club, and he wore a day date with a conventional clasp. And I actually worked for East West Lincoln Mercury for a period of time. And then the owner of the Volkswagen dealer in College Park Volkswagen, I think was the name of it. They were also a Mazda dealer. He owned a day date with a President bracelet with a standard hidden clasp bracelet that he wore real loose. I don't think he took any of the links out that came with it. It was super loose the way he wore it. And he had a day date. What was his name? Sunderland or Sutherland? Anyway, he was owner of the Volkswagen dealer there. So a lot of those dealership owners had day dates back in the day. I don't know that they do it as much now. Yeah, he went out of business, Capital Porsche Audi, and yeah, he bought it about that same time frame from me, and I'm trying to remember his name now. Jewish guy. What the heck was his name? I can't remember. My buddy would remember that. A buddy of mine that I still keep in touch with. He and I worked together there for a period of time. It was fun. Those were the fun days. Driving the 928s around and stuff. And the 930 turbo. about 1979, 1980, right in that time frame. Let's see. I had a sub ceramic, no date, and I'm happy with the GS 231. Joey in the house, absolutely. The 231 is amazing. What did you think about the new releases from GS? Some of them are pretty cool. I'd have to see most of them in person before I really make a decision. I still like, as far as watches that they have in the current production line, I still like that 005 right there that I own, and I still like this 231. I mean, it's hard to top either one of those. Let's see. One more photo on the way. Okay, good. Let's see what that photo's like. I'm not sure why these photos seem to be taking a little bit of time to come in. But anyway, this one's taking a little bit of time to come in too, so I'll wait until it comes in and I'll show it. Day dates on eBay and on Bob's Watches have taken a little bit of a dip in price from what I saw earlier today. Wow, and just today, huh? Too bad Rolex doesn't have a movement like the spring drive for the day date. Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome. That would be so freaking awesome. That would tempt me to buy another day date. I'd be tempted. Thanks for the responses. Cheers from Morocco. There you go. Craig, the SBGX 330 might be the solution to your problems. It's 38 millimeters times 10.5 millimeter with a 9F movement. You might have a hard time getting your hands on one, though. Okay, let's pull that up. SBGX 330. You know, I hate the way these sites always have lousy photos of the watches. Let's see what it says about this watch. 38, 10.4. So it's about the same size as the 002. 9F61 caliper. Interesting watch. Definitely interesting watch. I kind of want to have the spring drive, though, and in a lot of ways. But yeah, that would be an interesting watch. Let's see here. Look at this picture here. It'd be really nice if they would bring watches like this to the U.S. That's a very similar case to the 002. I mean, it might be the same case. It's very similar. Very similar. Yeah, that's a good-looking watch. That's a good-looking watch. I'm intrigued, though, to have another spring drive, and it's the same size, so there's no penalty. See, there used to be the downside to having the spring drive is it would be thicker, right? All the other dress watches they had previous were thicker because they were auto-wind, right? This new one, the 002, the thing is it's manual wind, and that's why it's thinner. It's about the same thickness, 10.2 mils. So yeah, but that would be cool. That and with a 9F for less money, right? That would be cool if they would bring that watch to the U.S. I'm going to suggest that they do that because some people would be definitely intrigued with that. If you were going to wear it a lot, like your main watch, that would be a perfect solution because then you don't have to worry about winding it, right? And it'd be dead accurate all the time. That would definitely be a possibility. But see, for me, I'm not going to be wearing it all the time. And so for me, it's not that much of a chore to wind it up and set the time and then wear it for a few days or whatever. And then, not wear it for a week or so. I mean, that's okay. Now, of course, with the quartz, it's just grab and go. Anytime you want to grab and go, it's a good move. But you're right. That would be a stunner. The SBGX 330. I'm going to write that down. SBGX 330, 18 karat, 9F. Yeah, I'm gonna ask Steve why he does, why. See, they have some cool cool watches in the Japan market that we never get here. That's a shame. Is it Mark Goldberg on his channel, I think, is predicting Rolex new sub will go back to the narrower lux. Yeah, he did talk about that. It'd be a good move if they did. We'll see. We'll see if they do. And it's not just the lugs, it's the slab sides. I mean, they need to round it. So they need to go back to the case shape of the old subs. The old red sub, it had a beautiful case. Let's see here. Noticed that was some date just as well. David Williams, that's good to know for the buyers out there. Gorgeous watch. The doll reminds me of the Presage line. There you go, Kyle in the house. Cost on the SBGX 330. Well, that one was like, what, $16,000, but it was sold. So I don't know what the list price is on it, but I think that one was like around $16,000. Again, who knows what the list price is on it. Most of these websites that have it are in Japanese anyway, because it looks like it's a Japan market watch. It's a stunner. I like the design. Now, do I like the dial better on the 002? Probably a little bit better. Yeah, if I have to be honest with you, let's go back to that one. I kind of like the snowflake dial. And again, I'd have to see it in person, but from what I understand, in person, it's really stunning. That snowflake dial with the blued second hand. And of course, that second hand just kind of smoothing around. Yeah, I think it's hard to beat. Hard to beat the 002. I hate those new Grand Seiko with lion mane dials. They look like poop flakes. Yeah, some of the stuff that Grand Seiko comes out with, I mean, they look like they'd be good for like a rapper to buy or something like that, or somebody that just wants something just really over the top. I mean, that's not my style. I wouldn't go for that. But I mean, there are some people that like that sort of thing. So I guess it's good that they offer a little something for everybody. All right, so folks, let me know if there anything else we should talk about. We've covered a lot of ground and we made a lot of progress. Let me know in the chat if there's anything else, and I'm going to refresh this here real quick, and then I'm going to check my photos to see if that photo came through. And then we're going to wrap this puppy up. Oh, let's see. Yeah, let me go back to my email here and see. My gosh, that. Okay, one more. Is this it? No, that's the dark one still. I still don't see the other photo from David. Man, why do these images take so long to email through? Very, very strange. Very strange. SBGC 231. Okay, let's check that. We'll pull this puppy up. Yeah. Yeah, that's a perfect example. I mean, that I would just have no interest. I'm not interested in a funky looking case design like that. That's why I don't like those different, like the Nautilus and all those watches with the funky case designs and all that stuff. I mean, and integral bracelets and stuff like that. Now, this doesn't have an integral bracelet, but it sort of looks like that. It's kind of got that look. I just no. There are too many great options out there. Too many watches that are absolute stunners that you can buy. I would pass on the weird looking watches. I would pass on those. Craig, check out the SBGX293. It's like a Grand Seiko's interpretation of a 1019 Milgauss. It's 38 mil in diameter and 10.7 with an IF movement, no date. Okay, yeah, we'll check that one. We'll check that one. Let's see. It's the SBGX293. Dum 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 dum. I wonder if that's a that might be a Japanese market watch also. See, if it's a Japanese, that's the anti-magnetic. Yeah, if it's a Japanese market watch, then it's not going to. Yeah, I can't bring it up on the U.S. website. And again, here's that picture that looks more like a drawing. I hate that. I hate where they don't even have like real pictures. But yeah, that's an all right watch. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that case design. Again, it's kind of that slabbed off, you know, more squared case design. I like the more flowing case design like that watch has. Now that watch has some flat edges and all that, but it has a nice flow down to the bracelet. The lugs have a nice taper to them. It just, yeah, certain look that I like. But yeah, I think that before I bought that watch, I would buy another 005 and be done with it, and get the GMT function also. So let me check my email again. Yeah, okay, so there's two of them. One says better photo and one says better lighting. Okay. All right, now here's one showing it sitting on the wrist. All right, and it looks pretty good. It looks, the clasp underneath on the underside doesn't look like it's bulging down a ton or anything like that. It looks relatively normal. And the watch itself, of course, looks nice on the wrist. It looks like it sits nice and flush to the wrist. So yeah, that looks like a good piece of kit there. Now let's look at the second photo that he sent. I guess it's the same photo he sent twice. Okay. So yeah, it looks pretty good. And again, that particular deployant clasp is a little bit different than the clasp that comes on the 002. So I won't know for sure on the 002 until I actually see that one in person. But yeah, David in the Vegas, I guess, sporting a cool looking rig, a cool looking 005 rig with a strap. Yeah. Do you like the case design of the Datejust 41? To me, the Datejust 41 seems a little bit on the big side. I just never got that excited about it. Now, for those that have a pretty big wrist, yeah, I guess it would be okay to go with that. But I would rather have something in the 36 mil range to maybe something in a 38 mil range for an all-arounder. I think when you get up to 41, see, that's the problem I had with the Snowflake. The Snowflake felt a little bit big for an all-arounder. You know, again, if I'm going with a straight-up sport watch, having a little bit bigger watch is okay. That's okay. But when I look at kind of an all-arounder, which is what I look at when I'm looking at a Datejust or something like that, 41 for me is just a little bit big. So, yeah, that's the way I look at that. That watch may look better in a NATO. Are you talking about David's watch? I think it looks stunning on that strap. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool look. I'll give 2 thumbs up to that. And I saw it in person. It was amazing. It looks better in person, trust me, than in these pictures too. All right, let's see. Our Wags is in the house. Excellent broadcast. Stay coronavirus free. Have a good nutritional dinner. I'm going to do that. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Give a thumbs up on the broadcast and click the bell to be notified. Absolutely click the bell, everybody. And Dan McDermott is calling. Let me just answer this real quick, and then Dan, I got you on the speaker because I'm getting ready to wrap up my broadcast, my live broadcast. Let me see.
Okay.
Let me see if I can wrap this while you're on the phone. This will be a good test to see, because I use the app on the phone to actually terminate the broadcast. So let me just see if this will work. This will be a good test. So I'm going into the app. We're doing this live. And I'm going to try to connect to the Video Pro. I'm doing it right now. And let's see here what happens. It's loading the settings. And then we'll see if it allows me to terminate the broadcast while I'm on the phone. And I'm hitting the stop button. I'm hitting complete event.